16 through the forests of northern Washington, and it said my name. Not my first name, my full name. Daniel Harper, you shouldn't have come back. At first, I thought it was just interference. Out here, the trees were so thick they swallowed signals whole. My pickup's old radio crackled constantly between stations. Static, fragments of country music, weather reports. But that voice was clear, cold, and it sounded almost familiar. I glanced around the empty highway. The road stretched ahead like a black ribbon cutting through endless pine trees. No houses, no gas stations, no other cars, just forest. "Hello?" I muttered, like an idiot, staring at the radio. The static hissed again, then silence. I shook my head and turned the dial. The voice was gone. I tried convincing myself it was just some weird broadcast or a prank, but deep down, something felt wrong. Because I hadn't driven this road in 15 years, not since the night Emily disappeared. The town of Blackridge appeared 20 minutes later, exactly as I remembered it. Small, quiet, almost forgotten. One main street, a diner, a gas station, a handful of houses scattered between dark woods. Back in high school, this place felt huge. Now it looked like a ghost town pretending to be alive. I pulled into the gas station. The same rusty sign flickered above the pumps. Inside, the air smelled like burnt coffee and motor oil. Behind the counter stood Earl. Older now, thinner, but unmistakably the same man who used to sell us beer when we were 17. He squinted at me. Then his eyes widened. "Well, I'll be damned," he said slowly. "Danny Harper." I forced a smile. "Hey, Earl." He stared like he'd seen a ghost. "Didn't think you'd ever come back here." "Just passing through," I lied. Earl leaned on the counter. "Passing through the town where your girlfriend vanished?" The word girlfriend felt wrong. Emily was more than that. She was everything. Or she had been. "Just needed to see the place again," I said quietly. Earl watched me for a long moment. Then he lowered his voice. "You hear anything strange on the road coming in?" My stomach tightened. "Like what?" He hesitated. "Radio voices." A chill crawled down my spine. "What kind of voices?" Earl's eyes shifted toward the dark windows. "People around here have been hearing things. Names being called, warnings." "How long?" "Since last month." He rubbed his beard. "Ever since they found that old cabin in the woods." I froze. "What cabin?" "You know damn well which one." My throat went dry. The cabin. The one where Emily was last seen. I hadn't thought about that place in years. Not after the search parties, the police dogs, the helicopters. They searched those woods for weeks. Nothing. No body, no clues. Just gone. "I should get going," I muttered. Earl grabbed my arm. "Danny, if you're thinking about going back there," "I'm not." He held my gaze. "Good." I left before he could say anything else. But the truth was, that cabin had already been on my mind. And 20 minutes later, I was driving down the narrow dirt road that led straight into the forest. The trees closed in like walls. Branches scraped against my truck. The sky above turned gray as the woods swallowed the light. I hadn't been here since that night, but my body remembered every turn, every bend. When the cabin finally appeared through the trees, my chest tightened. It looked worse than I remembered. The wood siding had rotted. Windows were broken. The porch sagged like it might collapse any second. Police tapes still fluttered weakly across the doorway. I stepped out of the truck. The forest was silent. Not normal quiet, dead quiet. No wind, no birds, just the distant creak of trees swaying. I walked toward the cabin. Every step felt heavier, because this was the last place anyone saw Emily alive. We had come here on a dare, just stupid teenagers chasing ghost stories. People in town said the cabin was haunted, said something lived in the woods. We laughed about it then. God, we laughed.
I ducked under the police tape and pushed the door open. The hinges groaned. Inside, dust floated through beams of gray light. The furniture was still there, a table, 2 broken chairs, and the staircase leading down to the basement. I didn't remember a basement. My heart started pounding. Slowly, I walked closer. The basement door stood slightly open. Darkness waited below, and from somewhere inside that darkness, I heard breathing. I froze. It was faint, but unmistakable. Someone or something was down there. "Hello?" I called. My voice echoed through the cabin. No answer, just breathing. Slow, patient. I should have left. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to run. Instead, I grabbed a flashlight from my truck and came back. The beam cut through the darkness as I stepped down the creaking stairs. Each step groaned like it might break. The smell hit me halfway down. Rot, wet earth, something metallic. The basement floor was dirt, and in the center of the room, there was a chair. A single wooden chair facing the wall. Strapped to it were old leather belts, like restraints. My chest tightened. What the hell was this place? The flashlight beam moved across the wall, and that's when I saw the carvings. Names. Dozens of names scratched into the wood. Missing people from Blackridge. Some I recognized, some I didn't. Then my light landed on one name near the bottom, Emily Carter. My knees nearly gave out, and underneath it, someone had carved another name, Daniel Harper. My name, fresh, recently cut into the wood. Behind me, the basement stairs creaked. I spun around. The flashlight beam shook. At the top of the stairs, someone stood in the doorway. A silhouette, tall, unmoving. "Hello?" I said again. The figure stepped forward. The light hit his face, and my blood turned to ice. It was me. Same face, same jacket, same terrified expression, like a reflection stepping out of a mirror. "What the hell?" The thing smiled, but the smile stretched too wide, too wrong. "Daniel," it said in my voice, "I was wondering when you'd come back." My heart hammered against my ribs. "What are you?" The thing tilted its head. "Something you helped feed." Cold realization spread through me. What happened to Emily? The creature sighed. "Oh, you know what happened." Memories flooded back. That night, the argument, Emily threatening to leave, me grabbing her arm, pulling too hard, her falling down the basement stairs, the sickening crack when her head hit the floor, panic, fear, and the decision I made afterwards. No police, no ambulance, just a shallow grave in the woods. The creature stepped closer. "You buried her," it whispered. My voice broke. "I didn't mean to." "But guilt," it said softly, "is delicious." Its body twisted slightly. The shape flickered. For a brief second, I saw Emily's face, pale, broken, eyes hollow. "You fed me every night, every dream, every memory." I stumbled backwards. "This isn't real." "Oh, it's very real." It pointed to the chair. "That's where the others sat." "Others?" "People like you." The creature smiled wider. "People with secrets." My back hit the dirt wall. "Why call me here?" It leaned close enough for me to smell decay on its breath. "Because your name was next." The flashlight flickered. Darkness swallowed the room for half a second, and when the light came back, the creature was gone. I was alone, breathing hard. I turned toward the stairs and froze. At the top of the stairs, a police officer stood there, gun drawn. "Daniel Harper," he said, "you're under arrest." My mind reeled. "How long have you been there?" "Long enough," he said grimly. "Human remains were found in these woods last month." My legs felt weak. "We've been waiting for you to come back." I glanced behind me. The basement was empty. No creature, no breathing, just the chair. The police cuffed my hands. As he led me upstairs, I looked back one last time. For a split second, in the darkness of the basement, I saw it again, standing behind the chair, wearing my face, smiling. And as the police car drove me out of the forest, the radio crackled with static. Then a familiar voice whispered softly, "Don't worry, Daniel. I'll be waiting when you come back."